This morning, we're delighted to welcome Gail Gordon. She is an accomplished attorney, a community leader, and vice chair of Jack Ciattarelli's campaign for governor of New Jersey. She's married to former Democratic State Senator Bob Gordon, and together they lead Sleeping with the Enemy, a thoughtful and humorous look at navigating political differences within a marriage. Gail joined Westside last fall, and today she's going to share how generosity has shaped her life, and we're grateful to have her with us this morning. Welcome, Gail.
Mark. Everybody hear me? I promise this is neither a campaign pitch, or you're not going to have to listen to a lawyer drone on, I promise you. There's actually more diversity to my marriage than Mark mentioned. I'm obviously a Presbyterian, and Bob is Jewish. And it's not as bad as you might imagine, because luckily we celebrate both his holidays and my holidays, so it's double the fun and double the time off. When I think about today's theme, giving, generosity, and grace, I realize there's a message for all of us in the story of my marriage. Bob and I dated briefly in the 80s before I returned to my hometown of Pittsburgh to go to law school. We stayed in touch in 2003 when he decided to run for the New Jersey Assembly. He sent everybody virtually he'd ever met, including those he met in ski lines, fundraising solicitation for donations to his then burgeoning campaign. Imagine my surprise when I found myself writing him a $100 check, but I couldn't resist, and I put a sticky note on top of it that said, "Dear Bob, good luck. This is the first and last check I will ever write to a Democrat." Well, 2 years and many, many checks later, we were married. It hasn't all been smooth sailing, believe me. Bob swears I once threw half a grapefruit at him before the first Trump inaugural. But through it all, our love and respect have endured. We finally found our point of accord. No matter what side you're on, Jew, Gentile, Republican, or Democrat, it's better to be in the game than sitting on the sidelines. And for the record, it was an orange, it was not a grapefruit that I threw at him. And that principle carries into our faith as well. For years, I admit I was a sideline sitter when it came to giving. I was generous to a point, writing checks when the Spirit moved me, but I never made an annual pledge. That's despite being raised by wonderful parents from Pittsburgh who faithfully, in good times and bad, tithed 10%, no matter what their circumstances were. Their quiet consistently painted a seed in me that took, obviously, a little time to grow. Last year, I decided it was time to follow their example and make an annual pledge to Westside, one that felt like, as I've reminded Mark several times, it was a stretch. I'm proud to say that I'm right on track to fulfill my pledge. Bob jokes that I think I have money as long as I have checks in my checkbook, but this pledge has been worth, indeed, every penny. Because to me, a fulfilled pledge is the price of admission we pay for the riches we receive through church life, whether it be the music, the mission, the worship, or the friendships. And faithful giving fuels the ministry, for example, that I care most about, fighting hunger and ensuring food security, both here and abroad. Generosity is how we pay it forward. It's what keeps us in the game, not watching from the sidelines. So let me close with this wonderful quote from Deuteronomy. "Give generously to them and do so without a grudging heart. Then because of this, the Lord your God will bless you in all your work." Thank you.